this demo, we introduce you to the Cisco Command Line Interface, or CLI. We explain the terminal emulation settings. This is how you gain access to the Cisco console port. We'll look at the basic navigational commands so you can get in and out of different modes on the Cisco device. Then we'll finish with a discussion on how to save your work so that next time the device is rebooted or reloaded, the configuration settings that you entered are still there. First, let's look at the terminal emulation settings. On the screen, we have a couple of different things. We have Cisco devices that we've been using in our demos. We also have a program called PuTTY running. PuTTY is a terminal emulation program, a very popular one, and it's free to download. You can use it for local connectivity through the console port to the Cisco device. You can also use PuTTY for remote connectivity too, but that's outside the scope of this demo. In this demo, we're talking about the command line and console ports. The part to focus on is right here, configuring this serial line. We want to focus on the speed and data bits. This allows the emulation program to interact with the Cisco device. These settings are generally universal no matter what program you choose to use. To connect to the Cisco device, click Open. If we've connected the cable properly and the router is turned on, we should connect. Okay, you see the device boot up. That's the decompression of our image file. We're getting the image file from the flash, the iOS off the flash, and putting it into RAM. Here it says, hey, you want to get into the initial configuration dialog? We're going to enter no here because we don't want to do that. We want to do our own thing. If you notice, the very first prompt we get is what is called the user mode prompt. There's not a lot of things we can do from the user mode prompt. We'll press the question mark just so you can see what you can type. You can see maybe a dozen or so commands. There's not a lot of flexibility here, not a lot of power. We must get from user mode to the next mode in order to make the magic really happen. Although, there are some things we can do here, such as basic troubleshooting with traceroute and ping. We type enable to get to the next mode. You can also type disable to go back a mode. We can run a couple show commands. There's nothing special there. We can even do some remote connectivity with Telnet and SSH, but again, not a super powerful mode. What we want to do is get to our privileged exec mode, so we're going to type enable or EN for short and press enter. Notice the prompt changes. Now we have a hashtag. It's no longer the greater than symbol. Now we are in what is referred to as enable mode or privileged exec mode. We have some power, but still not global config. We're not an admin here. This would be like a regular account on a computer. You can do some things, but you can't do everything an administrator can do. You can do more than in user mode that we just saw. You can think of it as like a guest account on a computer. You have some access, but you don't get to run the show. So, here we are in privileged exec mode. We can do all kinds of things from here. We can look at the running configuration. We can look at interfaces. We can do show commands. We can reload the router. We can even do the important copy run start, which we'll talk about at the very end. So right now, the router is running. We're on the running config, the configuration that's running on the device right now. If we want to see that, we can type show running. We're going to press the tab key. The tab key is command completion. So instead of entering show running config, the tab key completes that command, and then we can press the enter key. Now you'll notice that we have the running config. We just pressed the enter key. We're going to press the space bar so that we can go one page at a time. That's a little faster. Notice that there's not a lot of configuration on here. We don't have a lot of things, if anything, on this running config. So not a lot of things we can do, but there are things that we can put in there. Now let's go to the next mode. The next mode is configure terminal, conf-t, or global configuration mode. We're going to type conf-t, which is shorthand for configure terminal. So now we're in global configuration mode. We have full control. This is almost like administrative rights on a computer. We can change the hostname of this device. We can change interface commands. We can look at the running config. We can do all kinds of good things here. We can set up routes and routing protocols because we have total control. So that's what configure terminal does. It's the global configuration. Let's say we want to get into an interface. We can type INT, which is short for interface, or we can type INT and press the tab key. It says, okay, what interface do you want? And let's say we want the fast Ethernet port 0, slot 0. We type F0/0 and press enter. Notice the prompt. It changed from config to config-if to indicate that you are configuring an interface at this point. And now we can add an IP address. We can change the duplex, the speed, encapsulation methods, or whatever. The commands affect only this interface. Let's say we're done configuring the interface. Let's put an IP address on there just for fun. Let's say IP address 10.0.0.1 with a mask of 255.255.255.252 and press enter. Now let's enter no shut, which means turn the interface on. So we did a no shut and it takes only a second to complete. Now let's go back and do something else. Right now we're in interface mode. If we want to go back a level, we type exit and it will take us back a level. We are now in global config. If we type exit again, it takes us back one more mode to privileged exec mode. So exit takes us back one level. What if we want to go all the way back? We could press Ctrl+C on the keyboard, and that would take us all the way back. Or we can type end as well, and it would take us back to privileged exec mode. So there are different ways, and each network admin does it differently. Whatever is most comfortable for you, that's the one you want to use. Let's talk about two other things before we wrap up this demo. The first one is the running config. The running config is the configuration of the device. It is stored in dynamic RAM and would be lost if you powered the device down at this point. If you want to save your work, you must save it into what is called a startup config file. If you look at the screen, you see we have a new installation. We want to get into enable mode, so type en and then type show startup config and press enter. You're going to see that the startup config is not present. This is a new device and we haven't saved anything on it yet. So the point is, if we powered off the device and brought it back up later, everything is going to be gone. Nothing that we entered would be in effect. If you want to save whatever you're doing, then you need to copy the running config to the startup config. We'll do that with the copy command. We can type copy run start for short. That copies the running config and saves it as the startup config file. If we press enter, it's going to display the destination file name and ask what we want the file name to be. These brackets right here show you the default name or the default value name in this case. If we press enter, it's going to use startup config as the file name, which is what we want because that's what it's looking for. There, it's been saved. If you do a show startup config again or press the up arrow to find it in the command history, you can see that there's a startup config because we've saved the contents of the dynamic RAM as a permanent file on the system. So let's type that. Let's type show startup config. You can see that we have a config right here. Now there's nothing in here really, but it did save the contents and we can see we have a file here. That's it for this demo. This demo introduces the Cisco command line interface, some basic navigational commands, and how to save configured work.